Welcome everyone to a new video of GeoNut. In this video we will look at what are the three biggest blunders made by India in recent history. First one is the handling of Jammu and Kashmir issue by India's first Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru. Pakistani tribals, supported in large numbers by its army, had invaded Jammu and Kashmir in October 1947. In the battles that followed, the Indian army repulsed the attack, forcing the invaders to vacate some of the area they had occupied. Yet, a large portion of Jammu and Kashmir continued to be under their occupation. The US and the Soviet Union were sympathetic to the Indian view that Pakistan was the aggressor. But Nehru decided to take the matter to the UN in the belief that this newly created world body would weigh in on India's side and ensure that Pakistan vacate its aggression. This was a big mistake. Indian forces were winning in their battle. If given little more time, they would have kicked out the Pakistanis from today's Pak-occupied Kashmir. Also, Nehru was adamant about giving special status to Jammu and Kashmir. Against this backdrop, Article 370 was formed. He argued that he has tremendous respect for the Indian constitution, but aspirations of people of the Jammu and Kashmir should be respected. While speaking in the Lok Sabha in 1952, Nehru said, "I say with all respect to our constitution that it just does not matter what your constitution says. If the people of Kashmir do not want it, it will not go there." Nehru had advised Sheikh Abdullah to consult B.R. Ambedkar, who was the chairman of draft committee of the constitution. Ambedkar didn't agree with Abdullah on the special status for J&K. Subsequently, Nehru decided to give N. Gopalaswamy Iyengar, a member of his cabinet, the responsibility of drafting Article 370. Second biggest blunder in Indian history is committed by fourth Prime Minister of India, Morarji Desai. In 1975, and there was political instability in India, an emergency was imposed. Riding this wave of anti-incumbency, Morarji Desai, a Gandhian, became the Prime Minister. Raw Chief Mr. Kao met him and briefed him about Operation Kahuta and informed that India's spies in Pakistan had ample evidences to prove that Pakistan was conducting a nuclear tests in Sialkot. And they have managed to strike a deal with one of the scientists to sell entire blueprint and map of the facility for $10,000. Since agency had to deal with exchange of foreign currency, they were required essentially to take the nod from Mr. Desai. Mr. Desai, being a Gandhian, said no, we should not interfere with internal matters, and asked Raw Chief to stall all the operations. Expressing his anger, Mr. Kao, then Raw Chief resigned, and he is credited even today for the effective setup of Raw. Indian agencies like RAW and Mossad of Israel worked together in past, and Israel even wanted to bomb Pakistan in 1977 to avert nuclear tests in Pakistan. But Mr. Desai refused to give permission to Israelis to use its airspace for refueling. On a call with Zia-ul-Haq, the Pakistani army chief, Mr. Desai told him that he had information from his own people working in Pakistan that Pakistan were conducting nuclear experiments and tests in Sialkot. This baffled Pakistanis, who then found the spies and tortured them to death, and Pakistan successfully tested the nuclear bomb, which it uses to threaten India even today. Before going to the third blunder, please subscribe to this channel. Thanks for doing so. Third blunder in recent Indian history is the Shimla Agreement itself. Shimla Agreement was one of the greatest, if not the greatest, failure in Indian diplomacy. It was a failure not because it failed to achieve its objectives, but because the objectives were misplaced in the first place. The Shimla Agreement is a recognized peace treaty signed between India and Pakistan on July 2, 1972, following the India-Pakistan War of 1971. It was a formal agreement to end the hostile state of war between both countries to foster friendly relations. Like any other agreement, it aimed at ceasing hostilities. It was signed 6 months after the war, by the then Prime Minister of India Indira Gandhi and the then President of Pakistan Zulfikar Ali Bhutto. The agreement was signed with the hope that both countries would live with each other peacefully. The agreement was looked down upon strategically by many and it was seen as a mistake from India's point of view by Indira Gandhi. She was criticized widely for signing the agreement without resolving the Kashmir issue. Pakistan claimed Kashmir so strongly that complications between India and Pakistan would have been inevitable. This was seen as another reason to criticize the signing of the agreement by Indira Gandhi. It was called purposeless and impractical. Indira Gandhi could not use the victory of India in the 1971 war, which was military surrender by Pakistan, to bring peace and stability amongst India and Pakistan. Many addressed it as the treaty that was a mistake by Indira Gandhi since it backfired with the Kargil war situation of 1999 even after the returning of prisoners of war in territories by India. What was understood was that India had believed Pakistan was going to abide by the agreement and demonstrate friendly conduct to foster peace and stability, although Pakistan proved otherwise. Pakistan ought not to be underestimated since it has always been in a state of conflict over Jammu and Kashmir. India's win in the Indo-Pak War of 1971 brought a lot of advantages to it, all that was lost by this agreement, perceived as false promises made by Bhutto. Pakistani leaders had a history of not keeping their word. India seemed to have missed the factor before signing the agreement. The agreement was criticized to have laughable expectations from Pakistan considering Bhutto never kept his word. Even if India returned territories it seized in the war and all the prisoners of war, the loss of the eastern part of Pakistan led to non-reconcilable relations between the countries. These are the top 3 blunders in the recent Indian history, according to me. You might have different opinion on it. Write in the comments section according to you what are the top blunders in recent Indian history. Thank you for watching till the end. Please consider subscribing to this channel.